Good afternoon, all. So, this is week six problem solving session. So, this is microelectronics implantable device and routine surgeries for biomedical applications. I'm Arpita Biswas, a PhD scholar from Electrical Engineering Department from IIT Jodhpur. So, let's start the session. So, this is more details about me. So, this is the question one. Why magnetron Why magnetron is used in a sputtering? First option is to increase the deposition rate. Second option to neutralize the discharge extra. And option C is to decrease the rate of depletion. And option D is none of the above. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So what is the right option here? Please go through the question carefully. So first option is option A to increase deposition rate. Okay. So next move question number two. What are the benefits of highly dense electrode configuration? First option is better temporal resolution. Second is better invasiveness. Third option is better spatial resolution, and option D is better device cost. So what is the right option here? So the right option is option C, better spatial resolution. Okay. So next move toward the question number three. Which neuropotential acquisition system is used in the lecture explaining flexible microelectrode array-based analysis? First option is the Arduino Nano. Second is the Arduino Mega. Option C is the Open BCI Citron Density board, and option C is the PIC controller. So what is the right answer here? Please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. Option A is Arduino Nano, then Arduino Mega, then Open BCI Cyton DAISY board, and option D is the PIC controller. So please try to find out the right option. So what is the right option here? Option C is the right option. Open BCI site on Dancy board. Okay. So next move toward the question number 4. Convoluent convulsant is used to suppress the seizures. And option statement 2 is AED is used to elicit seizures. So first option is both statement are correct. Second option is both statement are incorrect. Option C is only statement 1 is correct, and option D is only statement 2 is correct. So the right option is option B. Both statement are incorrect. Okay. So next move toward the question number 5. If the acquire data at 2000 Hz, which among the following signals cannot be recorded from the same acquisition strategy? So first option is the seizures within 100 Hz. Second option is baseline with maximum frequency component 400 Hz. Option C is the sinusoidal wave with a fundamental frequency 1.3 kHz. And option D is the band limited EEG with a maximum frequency of 30 Hz. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option C. Sinusoidal wave with a fundamental frequency of 1.3 kilohertz. Okay. So next move toward the question number um, 6. What parameters can differentiate between the normal baseline and stabilizer? First option is the amplitude neuropotential. Second is the frequency component of neuropotential. Third option is the time frequency plots. And option D is all of the above. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is all of the above. Okay. So next move toward the question number 7. What is the usual correct positioning of the skull in the stereotactic apertures? First is the bregma lower than lambda, and second option is lambda or lower than bregma. Third option is the bregma and lambda are at the same level, and option D is it depends on the subject. So the right option is option C. Pragma and lambda are at same level. Okay. So next move toward the question number 8. What is the optogenetic simulation? Option A is the method to acquire the neural signatures from the brain using the electrical potential acquisition system. Option B, a method to check brain health status by acquiring the neural potential in response to applied audio, audio-visual simulations. And option C is a genetic technique to activate or inhibit the activity of specific neuron population using the light. And option D is an optical modality to locate the brain tumor. So go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option C, a genetic technique to active or inhibit the activity of specific neuron populations using light. So next move toward the question number 9. System embodiment design is an integral part of any brain-computer interface system. Which of the following is used as a 3D printing material? First option is polylactic acid. Find out the right option. So the right option is option D. All of these. Okay. So next move toward the question number 10. How 3D printing technology can be described? First option, incremental design. Second option, additive manufacturing. Option C is re-engineering. Option D is all of this. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option B, the additive manufacturing. Okay. So next move toward the question number 11. What does SMEAR stand for in the context of neural interfaces? First option is the microelectrode array. Second option is the mechanical electrical assembly. Third option is the multi-layered electronic architectures. And option D is the metal etching apertures. So what is the right option here? So the right option is option A, microelectrode array. Okay, next move toward the question number 12. What is the primary advantage of the flexible mirror over the traditional rigid mirrors? First option is the higher electrical conductivity. Second option is the better mechanical strength. Third option is reduced tissue damage and improve the biocompatibility. And option D is the lower fabrication cost. So it is the right option here. So the right option is option C, reduce tissue damage and improve the biocompatibility. Okay. So next move toward the question number 13. Which of the following material is commonly used as a flexible substrate in mirror? First option is the silicon, second is the polyamide, third is glass, option D is the aluminium. So what is the right option here? So the right option is option B, the polyamide. Okay, so next move toward the question number 14. What is the key application of flexible MIA? First option is the battery energy storage. Second option is the brain machine interface. Option C is the optical fiber communication. And option D is the structural health monitoring. So the right option is option B. Okay, brain machine interfaces BMI. So next move to the question number 15. Why are flexible MIA preferred in long-term neural recording? First option, they provide the higher impedance. Second, they are more stable in high temperatures. Option C is the conform the better to brain tissue, reducing the inflammation. And option D is they require less electrical power. So, what is the right option here? So, what is the right option here? So the right option is 15C. They conform better to brain tissue, reducing inflammation. Okay. So next move toward the question number 16. What is the first step in the fabrication process of a flexible MIA? First option is the metal deposition. Second option is the patterning of electrode sites. Option C is the substrate preparation, and option D is the encapsulation. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option C, substrate preparation. Okay. So next move toward the question number 17. Which deposition technique is commonly used for metal electrode fabrication in flexible MIA? First option is the chemical vapor deposition. Second option is the electron beam lithography. Option B is B is electron beam lithography. Option C is physical vapor deposition, and option D is the deep coating. So what is the right option? So the right option is option C, physical vapor deposition. Okay, so next move toward the question number 18. Which metal is frequently used as an electrode material in flexible mirror? First option is the copper, then gold, aluminum or iron. So the right option is option B, gold. So next we go to the question number 19. Why is encapsulation important in flexible media? The first option is to increase the conductivity of the electrode. Second, to improve the adhesion to neural tissue. Third, to protect the device from the moisture and biofouling. And option D is to enhance the flexibility of the substrate. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. Why is encapsulation important in flexible media? The right option is option C, to protect the device from moisture and biofouling. So next move toward the question number 20. Which polymer is commonly used for encapsulation in flexible media? First option is the polystyrene. Second option is the ACBAID. Option C is the PDMS and option D is the Teflon. So let's try to find out the right option. The right option is option C, PDMS. So, move toward the question number 21. Which technique is commonly used for patterning electrode on a flexible substrate? First option is the soft lithography. Second is the electrospinning. Third option is the ion implantations. And option D is the optical microscopy. So, please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is soft lithography. So next move toward the question number 22. What is the main purpose of etching in a mere fabrication process? First option is to deposit the metal layers. Second option to remove the unwanted material and define patterns. Option C is to attach the electrodes to neural tissue. And option D is to encapsulate the device. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So what is the right option here? The right option is option B, to remove the unwanted material and define the pattern. Okay. So next move toward the question number 23. Which etching method is preferred to patterning the flexible Mia? First option is the dry etching. Second is wet etching process. Option C is the mechanical aberrations. And option D is the electrochemical etching. So what is the right option here? So what is the right option here? The right option is option A, dry etching or reactive ion etching. Okay, so next move toward the question number 24. What is the major challenge in fabrication flexible media? First option is achieving the high conductivity. Option D is maintaining the flexibility without breaking the electrode correction. And option C is scaling up the fabrication process. And option D is the ensuring low impedance. So please go through the question carefully and find out the right one. So, what is the right option here? 24. The right option is option D, maintaining the flexibility without breaking the electrode connection. Okay. Next, move towards the question number 25. Which property is crucial for evaluating the performance on the flexible mirror? First option is the Young's modulus. Second is the electrode impedance. Third is the thermal conductivity, and fourth option is the density. So, what is the right option here? The right option is option B, the electrode impedance. Okay, let's move toward the question number 26. Why is impedance important in MIA? It determines the flexibility of the device. It allows the affect the signal's quality in neural recording. Option C is increases the strength of the material, and option D is prevent the biofluid. So please try to solve this question. So what is the right answer? The option B is the right answer. Okay, it affects the signal quality in neural recording. So next move toward the question number 27. Which of the following methods is used to test the flexibility of neon? First option is the cyclic bending test. Second option is the UV spectroscopy. Option C is the X-ray diffractions, and option C is the X-ray diffractions, and option D is the differential scanning calorimetry. So the right option is the cyclic bending test. Okay. So next move toward the question number 28. What is the key biomedical application in flexible MIA? First option is the measuring the blood sugar level. Option B is monitoring the neural activity in vivo. Option C is the enhancing drug solubility, and option D is the detecting VOC in air. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So what is the right option? Question number 28. The right option is option B, monitoring the neural activity in vivo. Okay. So next move toward the question number 29. Which type of neural signal is typically recorded using the flexible MIA? Action potential, and second is the infrared signal, third is the ultrasonic waves, and option is D is the magnetic field. So please try to solve the question. So what is the right option here? The right option is option A, the action potential. Okay. So next move toward the question number 30. What is the major future direction in flexible mirror technology? First option is the increasing the steepness of mirror. Second option is developing the self-healing and bioresonable mirror. Option C is the replacing all mirrors with rigid electrodes. And option D is eliminating the need for encapsulations. So what is the right option? The right option is developing the self-healing and bioresorbable mirror. Okay, so next move toward the question number 31. What is the main purpose of the stereotactic implantation surgery? First option is to perform the non-invasive imaging of the brain. Second option to precisely implant electrodes or device into specific brain region. Option C to remove the brain tumors with surgery. Option D is to enhance the brain plasticity using the magnetic field. So please try to find out the right. So what is the right option here? Question number 31, the right option is option D, to precisely implant the electrode or device into a specific brain region. Okay. So next move toward the question number 32. Which of the following is the key advantages of the stereotactic surgery? First option, it does not require the anesthesia. Second, it allows the high precise with a minimal damage to surrounding tissue. Third option, it can be performed without imaging the guidance. And option D, it does not require specialized equipment. So the right option is option B. It allows high precision with minimal damage to surrounding tissues. Okay. So next move toward the question number 32. Which imaging technique is commonly used to assess the stereotactic implantation? First option is the X-ray. Second is the MRI or CT scan. Option C is ultrasound, and option D is the fluorescence microscopy. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option B, MRI or CT scan. Okay. So next move towards the question number 34. What type of anesthesia is typically used for the stereotactic implantation in rodents? First option is the local anesthesia, second is the general anesthesia, and option C is the no anesthesia is required, and option D is the spinal anesthesia. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option B. Okay, general anesthesia. So next move toward the question number 35. Which step is performed first in the stereotactic implantation surgery? First is the craniotomy. Second is the fixation of the animal in the stereotactic frame. And option C is the electrode implantations. And option D is the closing the surgical wound. So what is the right option here? So the right option is option B. Fixation of the animal in the stereotactic frame. Okay. So next move toward the question number 36. Which step is performed first in the stereotactic implantation surgery? First option is the sorry, I think I have to repeat this question. So this is also the fixation of the animal in the stereotactic frame. And this is the question number 37. To why a craniotomy preferred during the stereotactic implantations to reduce the brain swelling. Option B is to create the access point to the implanting electrodes or device. Option C to improve the circulation in the brain. Option D to remove the injected brain tissue. So what is the right option here? So the right option is to create an access point for implanting the electrode or devices. Okay. So next move toward the question number 38. Which brain region are commonly targeted in rodent stereotactic implantation studies? First is the hippocampus, cortex, stratums, and second option is the cerebellum and spinal cord. Option C is the retinal ganglion cells, and option D is the pituitary gland and thy- thymus. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So, what is the right option? The right option is the option A, the hippocampus, cortex, and stratums. Okay, so next move toward the question number 39. What is the role of the micromanipulators in stereotactic surgery? First option to positions and guide the implantation devices with a high precision. Second option to anesthesia the animal before surgery. Third option to measure the neural activity post implantation. And option D is to remove the excess cerebrospinal fluid. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So what is the right option here? The right option is option A, to position and guide the implantation device with high precision. Okay. So next move toward the question number 40. What is the main advantage of sputtering over the deposition technique? It works only at high temperature. It provides excellent step coverage and uniformity. Option C, it does not require the vacuum condition. And option D is it uses only liquid phase material. So what is the right option here? So the right option is option B. It provides excellent step coverage and uniformity. Okay. Next, move toward the question number 41. What is the purpose of applying a negative voltage to the target in sputtering? First option to repel ions from the plasma. Second, to create the electric field that accelerate the ion towards the target. And option C, to heat the substrate uniformity. And option D, to control the deposition rate. So, what is the right option here? The right option is option B, to create an electric field that accelerate the ions towards the target. Okay, so next the question number 42. What is the role of the vacuum chamber in a sputtering system? First option, to remove the unwanted metal oxides. Option B is to maintain a controlled low pressure environment for plasma formations. And option C, to create the conductivity of the substrate. And option D, to allow the high speed electron movement. So what is the right option here? So it is the right option. So, question number 42, the right option is option B, to maintain a controlled low pressure environment for plasma formations. Okay. So, next move toward the question number 43. Why an argon gas preferred in sputtering over the other gases? First option, it is highly reactive with the most metals, and option B, it forms a stable plasma with the minimal chemical reactions, and option C, it increases the deposition temperature, and option D is it accelerates the oxidations. So what is the right option? So the right option is option B. It forms a stable plasma with a minimal chemical reaction. Okay. So next move toward the question number 44. Which factors significantly affect the addition of the sputtered film to the substrate? First option, the distance between the target and substrate. Second, the type of vacuum pump used. Third, the wavelength of incident light. And option D, the color of the target material. So please go through the question carefully and try to find out the right option. So the right option is option A, the distance between the target and the substrate. Okay. So next move toward the question number 45. So this is the last question. Which sputtering technique is used to deposit the insulating material like SiO2? First option is the DC sputtering, second is the RF sputtering, and option C is the thermal evaporation, and option D is the spin coating. So this is the last question. Please try to solve. So, what is the right option? The right option is option B, the RF sputtering. So, we are ending the session here. Next, we will meet next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Okay. So, okay.